welcome to the continuation of Cryptos 101. This is the basics. Dr. Daniel Daves here. Here's your risk disclosure. Read it carefully, please. And let's go on to today's continuation of training. First of all, we're getting started with the world of cryptocurrencies. It's very important that you know your risks. Well, what are some of the risks? Let me tell you one of the risks. That is, cryptocurrencies are simply digital bytes of nothing. As long as someone, though, is willing to buy those bytes of nothing, there's going to be a market. Now, many believe that cryptocurrencies are the way of the future, that the money that you may have, the currency you have in your billfold or your purse is going away and everything's going digital. That absolutely is my belief. I think that it's coming. However, I don't know that Bitcoin in the future will be around. Who knows? I don't know that Ethereum, Litecoin, there may be some rockstar, superstar currency that shows up in the future that will displace all of them. Right now, the crypto world is kind of like the computer world. If you remember back when Apple I and Apple II came out, and then Bill Gates, Microsoft, he promised something to IBM that he hadn't even created yet. And so really the whole crypto world and understanding is just like back in the computer world when the Apple II computer came out. People were saying, oh man, I just don't think that we're ever going to need little PCs or personal computers in the home. It'll never happen. Well, here we are today, right? In the same way, the crypto world is advancing. So it's important for you to know the risks, or at least try to know the risks. Research, think, analyze, listen to what the professionals are saying. Also, listen beyond the hype. Because everyone is going to tell you something. They're going to tell you why you need to invest in this crypto. Even the millennials will say, buy this, buy that, buy this. And all they're doing is parroting. More than likely, they're parroting what someone else is trying to sell them. And so look beyond the sales pitch. Why do you want to buy Ethereum, Bitcoin? Why do you want to buy these things? Okay? Now, let's look also, I'm going to go through these points. Are you interested in short-term profits or long-term profits? I am a short-term player for the most part, but I am also banking long-term profits. What does that mean for me? Well, I'm just going to tell you what it means for me. Number one, if I can make 100 to 200% gain on anything, I don't care if it's a cryptocurrency or if it's a stock. I don't care if it's an automobile. If I can make that kind of money in a short term, then I'm all over it, and I will cash out and protect my profits. Case in point, last week I had about 10 or 11 of these little cryptos on board, and 4 of them shot up. All within the same few days. Within a 5-day period, I had 4 of them that shot up 100 to 200% above what I bought them for. What did I do? I took them off the table. I protected my profits. My little millennial friends said, oh, you're going to be so disappointed you did that because they're going to go up so much further. Now, I believe they're going to go up so much further, but I've also been involved in the markets, and I know what goes up comes down, up, down, up, down. Most of the people who don't understand and they get hyped up and they get addicted to this stuff, they just say this is going to go up, and they're never willing to confront the fact that all this up, 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 there's guys like me that are going to sell, and when we sell, it goes back down. And then it might go up with more buyers, but then someone's going to sell and it's going to go back down. That is the way of all markets, up and down. So for me, as a short-term player, if I can get 100% rock and roll movement up, or 150%, or I turn my head and go, oh no, I look at this, it's up 200%, It's off the table, baby. I'm taking it and I'm protecting my profits. Why? I've learned through heartache and through long hours and days and years of trading. I've learned that you try to live to trade another day by protecting profits. Okay, so like I said, I had 4 of them that went up. I took it off the table. The millennials were yelling at me and saying, oh, you poor old man, you old fool. Well, what's happened? These things have come back and they've lost half of their profits by holding forever. Now, it's okay if you're holding forever if you have a long-term goal. I'm going to get a little bit deeper here now. I also have long-term goals. Bitcoin, I learned about Bitcoin when it was around $2,160 and bought my first Bitcoin. It ran all the way up to $20,000. And about 14, I was telling everyone professionally, don't buy Bitcoin, don't buy it, you're going to be sorry. And some of my friends and the millennials were buying at 18, 19, and almost $20,000. And then here it came all the way back to $11,000. Don't you know that those people who bought up here as retail customers were hurting and watched 40% of their money evaporate almost overnight? But what happened? I bought some down here at 11,000, ran it up, and because I was a professional trader, I saw problems up here, and I pulled it off at 15.8 and protected the profits. And what have I been doing since then? I've been waiting for a nice deep entry. Where do I think Bitcoin's going? Long term, I think Bitcoin may go to 50,000. Maybe 100, maybe 500,000 in the future, in the next years. But I don't think that it's poised to do it now. So I'm waiting patiently to invest for the long term. Now, when I put that Bitcoin in long term, it's in, and I never want to even see it again until it hits up here in 50, 100, 500, and I'll determine what I think it needs to happen at that point. But so I'm waiting. Bitcoin, I think, is still too high today. Let's see. We had a low. We had a high of 20K. We came back down to 11. Went back up to 17. Now it's back down, cracking under 14. And it's very possible that Bitcoin will come on down. And let's just draw a little line. Maybe down to $8,000 or $9,000. That's where I would consider putting my long-term investment in, buy a little Bitcoin. Of course, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin. You can buy a sliver of a Bitcoin. But if I buy a piece of that Bitcoin at 8 or 7 or 6, what about that poor guy up there that bought it at 20,000? And he's sitting down here at $6,000 or $8,000 going, oh, I'm having a bad year. This is a bad year for me. But this is a beautiful year for Daniel Daves because he's patient and he's now getting ready to invest for the long term. I'm not going to buy Bitcoin up here at $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 for the long term because I know up, down, and what goes up goes down. And if it goes up vertical like a rocket, she's going to come back down hard like a failed rocket with no more energy. Why? It's not a failure, though. We're finding the floor. We're finding the wholesale buyers. So you need to know short-term profits. Man, if you can get into a crypto for a dime and it goes up to 20 cents, or it goes up to 15 cents. What is your goal and objective? Remember the yesterday's training. What is your plan? If your plan is you just want to beat the S&P and make 10% a year, well, you bought it for 10, it went up to 15. Get out. You just blew your goals right out of the water within days or weeks. Good job. Short term. What's your short-term plan? And then what's the long-term plan? If you're just a long-term person, you say, you know what, I want to put some money in and just forget it and I'll come revisit it in a few years. If you're a long-term plan person, by all means. If you want to buy 10 different cryptos, buy them and put them back away and come visit them again next year. And hopefully they will be up, and some of them may be dramatically up. Some of them may not even be there any longer. Okay, next. Are you a fundamental or a technical trader, or can you be a little of both? Fundamental trading. Remember when President Obama said we're going to fundamentally transform this nation? That's not technical transformation, that's fundamentals. That means what is the underlying purpose, or what are the underlying fundamentals of the coin? In Obama's case, the country. What is the fundamental purpose of your coin? At that point, we might look at ETN. That's electronium. I told you yesterday about electronium. Fundamentally, they're going to mine it on cell phones. They're going to put it in 19 languages, and teenagers and people all over the world are going to mine electronium from cell phones. There's a fundamental purpose behind that. Other coins are hyping up their technology. They're faster, they're stronger, they're better. And those are fundamental reasons to get into something. And based on how good it sounds, it should be worth something, and maybe worth something more tomorrow. Technical. I'm a technical guy, so I'm looking for technical reasons to get in. Although the fundamental story is always fun. Love thinking about people trading and mining on their phones. Wow, what a great thought. But I want to see technically, where is this coin at? So is it possible? Yes, you can do a little bit of both, but it's important to learn. If you're a beginner, start learning fundamentals and technicals, and then choose one or do a mix of the other. But everything you do it on purpose. Don't just do it because you feel good about it. It just feels like a good opportunity. Those who feel always end up in deep, deep trouble. So trade a plan. If you don't trade a plan, I promise you, you are only gambling. And trading is addictive, like gambling is addictive. And if you don't trade your plan, you will end up in addiction. And just like all addictions, you will end up losing. That is the bottom line. Okay, with those things out of the way now, let's jump over to, let's see here. Let's jump over here briefly. I want to give you some homework today. Come out to Google and simply type in candlestick patterns. Candlestick patterns are one of the many ways that you can do technical analysis of a chart. Candlesticks are they're called Japanese candlesticks, and they're very, very powerful to determine and show you where are the buyers, where are the sellers, and what's been going on in this chart. Now, Investopedia here has a whole thing on candlesticks. Not all of them. There's hundreds of candlestick movements, but here's a bearish and a bullish. It teaches you about the movement of the price, bearish and bullish. Here is a hammer candlestick. Doesn't that kind of look like Thor's hammer right there? And here is an inverted hammer. And these things tell they're big tells or big signs on what is getting ready to happen. Bullish engulfing. Here's your piercing line, the morning star, three white soldiers. It goes on, and they'll show you how these candlesticks mean something. Okay, this is one thing I use, not all, but it's one thing, and it basically sets up the chart and shows you. If you saw out on Facebook on our Bitcoin Crypto World Facebook page, yesterday I posted what was a very, very dangerous post for the Bitcoin chart. And that chart basically, and let me pull up right here, I'll just show you here on a little chart screen. This was Bitcoin all the way up here to $20,000. And then we had this massive red sell-off. Remember when the rocket falls back to Earth? Big sell-off, and now the price has been hanging. And right as of here yesterday, I posted and said, listen, I got to tell you, with 75% accuracy, the technicals say that the sellers are going to try to push the price down here to $8,800. This is technical trading. That's a 75% success rate. So if you were rolling the dice and you knew you had a 75% chance of rolling the dice and hitting 8,800, and you only had a 25% chance of hitting 20,000, what are you going to do? Where are you going to put your money? You know, it really is all about numbers. It's about percentages. And so, in my opinion, we have a 75% chance of hitting $8,800 before we hit $20,000. So what do you think I'm doing? Am I buying up here, or am I selling up here? And the professionals who see technical trading, are they buying up here or are they selling? Let me ask you, how many green candles do you see? Where are the buyers? They're nowhere to be found. Well, and although the little guy who is saying, come on, baby, I want to buy some here, come on, come on, come on, let's turn around, let's go. And it might turn around and go, and I may be all wet, and I might be wrong right now, telling you what I'm telling you. But the technicals tell me 75% chance that we're going to 8,800, or at least piercing down and trying. And so I'm not a buyer up here just because of the percentages. You will learn the same thing as you spend quality time doing the same. Back to the candlesticks. Learn, learn, learn. Get yourself 5 good candlesticks and start looking for them in charting. Now I'm going to come over to Cryptopedia, and we're not going to spend much time, almost finished here today. Cryptopedia was one of my favorite little places to look at. This is pretty archaic charting, but they do use Japanese candlesticks. And so if you can go out to cryptopedia.co.nz, you will find, by the way, NZ means they're in New Zealand. So let's just take a look here between Bitcoin and, let's see, between Ethereum. Ethereum is beating Bitcoin by 19.83% today. And let's take a look at what you might see. Let's go down here to 1 week. Let's come down to 2 days. Okay, so 2 days, see these candlesticks. Green means the buyers are in charge. Red means that the sellers are selling off. But we're getting many more greens than we are reds. Greens and a little bit of red. Okay? Now, this is what I want to point out to you as you are looking today at candlestick charts, and you're going to go through. Here's Electroneum. What's it doing? Well, it's down 6.94, almost 7% today. But here's what I want to show you. This is very, very powerful, and you need to see it 1,000 times so that you can trust it. But when you see the price shoot up, after a shoot up, it will always draw back because there's going to be people who sell. So it shot up and then it pulled back. See the red there? And then it shot back up again, and now it's going basically what we call sideways. Here's the key. Anytime a market goes up, if it comes down in a controlled fashion, I want you to think about an escalator. If it's coming down in a controlled escalator form, you have a strong potential that the market's going to shoot back up again. It's just consolidating, and it's coming down to a nice lower point where the computer AI programmings will grab it and take it to a higher note. What is not good is when a market goes up and then it starts falling hard, and maybe even does this, starts rotating down. If it's rotating down, that is bad news for the buyers. It means that the sellers are in charge. So if you get an up and then this rounded off drop, not good. What you want is up, slow, nice level. So here's Electroneum right now. It went up, back down, up, and what do we have now? We have a nice escalator. Nice escalator. So what's going to happen? Well, I'm assuming with these escalator points that we're going to get another pop-up. That's a very strong probability. Now, another thing you can do is you can kind of draw a line across the top and draw a line across the bottom. We call this a channel And when that price gets down, right down, when you get into this beautiful, perfect channel, get down at the bottom there, that's really a beautiful time to consider taking a trade. And that's where, boom, a lot of times the price will go back up. But if the price comes down and pierces under that channel and stays under it, if you took it here long and it comes down and it looks bad and it starts doing all this, curving down stuff, you just want to get out. That's what I would want to do. I would just want to get out of there. And that was a failed channel. It came down under, and lots of troubles. Okay, so Electroneum right now, we're getting the nice little escalator effect, which means it's controlled, a controlled descent. That's how you want to come in a jet airplane, right? When you fly into your home city, you want to come in a controlled descent, or do you want it to look like this? Is that how you want your plane to come in? If you're in a controlled descent, you feel like you're going to make it out of that plane, and it's going to be a good day. All right, that's one thing to look at, and you can just keep moving through all of these. Now here is Linda. Linda shot up, kind of came back. Let's see. Look at this. It kind of shot up and entered into this channel, and bang, right down here, they bought it and ran it right back up again. Really nice. What's it doing now? Well, it's kind of, I don't like this little rounded effect here, but it is, in some degree, it's kind of an escalator point. So lower is better, possibly for another pop-up on Linda. And that is how you can go through these one way, especially when you see the nice big move up, so here's a move up, nice elevator up, and a little bit stronger elevator down. Now this one here, this elevator is coming down. Okay, not bad. The less angle on the elevator, the stronger move upward. A big tight move down or an almost straight move down, that just think of yourself coming in for a landing in a jet airplane. You want that slow descent. That's really what you're looking for in channel play, candlestick play, and pullback play. That's enough for today, and we'll continue this at another time. God bless you.